Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry about the lateness of the start time. My computer was running very, very slow this morning. Don't know why. I had to kind of go back to the old computer. So I hope y'all can hear me. I know microphone issues on this one was a problem with for me before. Kenneth will be on in just a second. I thought it was important that we come on here today as Black men and have an honest discussion about, just this past week, and what happened in Virginia. And I think it goes to a larger discussion that I believe this for a while that African American men don't really want to have when they want to have, having a blunt discussion about it. That's what I believe. And, um, and I think that you can't have these discussions without sometimes talking about your own personal um, experience with uh, being disappointed about where you are, um, being disappointed about where you are, how you handle it, particularly in our community, what we've been taught, uh, what we've been raised to believe as African American men. Um, some of it's hard to even articulate as an African American man. Sometimes it's hard to articulate because sometimes African American men aren't at the point that you're at. One of the things that I have strived to do as I've gotten older is to not be as scared of the word intimacy. And I see intimacy being practiced amongst African American women with each other all the time. I don't see it practiced amongst African American men all the time because a lot of us just weren't raised that way, and it's something that as we're seeing is deadly. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. When the evidence is given to you, you're supposed to try to do better. The best example I can give you is something that's dear to the heart of a lot of African American men is football, right? And when I tell people, they say, "Hey, do you watch football a lot?" And I go, I watch some because of social disagreements I have, but I don't watch any little league football. I hate those fucking shows. I hate little league tykes, and I honestly, from what I've seen since my grandkids were in little league, I can't stand little league football. It's nothing like when I was playing little league football, and and it's nothing like when little league football when I was growing up. And when you have evidence that little kids should not be playing tackle football, you go out on some of these leagues that are run by, and I don't go to white leagues, so let me be clear. When I always have this conversation, I had this conversation from a perspective of what I've experienced. I don't go to a lot of leagues with a lot of little white kids playing football. I was only going to with mostly African American little leagues. And when you see these men out there pushing these little kids to hit, and all the evidence of CTE, when the science says don't do that, the science says, hey, you shouldn't have these collisions with little kids this young while their brains are still forming, and motherfuckers still do it. Ken, have you here yet? Because I don't know if that's me or you
Yeah,
just breathe. Okay, because I can't see your picture. You're
yeah.
camera
I'm
on?
trying to. It's a new.
That's all right.
What
We
you
like
call
it.
it?
We like your voice anyway. We don't like looking at that face no matter what. So that's cool. We still,
I
this
appreciate that.
this might still be better. So when we um, play these sports and the science says don't do it, don't let them. And you have grown ass NFL football players telling you, and I'm using as an example, telling you I wouldn't let my son play up until he was 12 or 13, and we do it anyway. That's a stubbornness on our part. And that's the example I want to use in the sense of when the science and the evidence says this, maybe we ought to start taking it to heart. So I say that to say, with the put your head in there, boy. I can hear the coach now. um, he talk about you, Kenneth. He say he can't. He can. Mary said he needs to see you in order for you to be convincing to him. Um, when the science says that a whole bunch of African American men need to seek out therapy for for the anger and frustration that we've been feeling before we take it home, and you still don't take it, when the science says and the anecdotal evidence can say you need to really lean on your friends and be willing to tell them stuff that you normally wouldn't tell them because you think it makes you look weak, and you still don't, that's a problem with us. Because I tell people all the time, man, like my front porch, you call my front porch, all things are open if you came to me to talk to me. There's no judgment when you come to talk to me. There's nothing you can't tell me short of you murdered somebody or you robbed somebody or you hurt somebody's kid, that I'm not going to sit there and listen to what you have to say. Because it has to be a conversation on an intimate level, whereas you can get that shit out. You can get it out and you can feel comfortable that you got it out, that we can talk about it. And I'm not saying that you're not perfect. It just means in order for us to have honest counsel, you got to give honest information. And I agree with a lot of African American women I've seen on social media. The first subject matter that men who got on here and talked about this shit shouldn't have been about Justin Fairfax. It should have been about his wife. Because I guarantee you a lot of us could understand what was going on. And I'm going to give you my layman's term what I thought was going on. You ran for lieutenant governor. It didn't work out. You won lieutenant governor. You thought you were on a track. You're an attorney. You graduated from Duke. You graduated from Columbia. You thought you were on this track. You lieutenant governor. Then you running for governor. But while you're running for lieutenant governor, 2 allegations come out against you. I don't know if they're true or not. You're frustrated as fuck because you can't prove it. Whether they're true or not, I don't know if they're true. But one thing we do know that you did is you admitted to having an extramarital affair that we don't know if your wife knew about it at the time. We know that because you said, yes, the oral sex happened, but it was consensual. We don't know if Serena knew that. We don't know if that was the thing that broke the car on the camel's back. We don't know any of that, but we do know that you did admit to that. And once that happened, being black, which me and Kenneth and most black men could attest to, particularly in the South, you damn near done cooked your goose as far as running for a political office to a certain degree. Because you're going to have to do a lot of rebuilding. But it wasn't a death knell. It wasn't a death knell. Then you get fired by your firm for whatever reasons, where they thought you didn't have the contacts anymore, any of that stuff. So now you spiraling. You're spiraling like a lot of dudes who go through divorce. But you also not pivoting. You're not pivoting because you just can't believe that, hey, I done went to Duke. I done went to Columbia Law School. My trajectory is supposed to be this, not this. It's supposed to be straight up, not zigzagging. And it's hard as hell required them to stay together for 1 year while they were getting a divorce. Yeah, that is crazy. But the crazy part about it, the part that let me not get off subject. You spiraling. And your wife probably ain't feeling you if she just found out that you've been having an affair. And then another woman comes out and she thinks it's true. So now she thinks it's a pattern. So now you're really spiraling. And you start drinking. But truth of the matter is,
I need to set my camera up. So let me get out for a second.
Okay, come on back. Yes, come back. We're gonna be here for a minute, I think. So now you're spiraling. You're spiraling. And you can't pivot. And you won't humble yourself to do a pivot that may be so unreasonable. I'm never gonna go and do that job. We all been there. I've been here. I'm not going back down to do that job. I've been there. Recently. And you forgot what you're supposed to be fighting for. Because she's pissed. She's pissed as hell. She probably ain't feeling you. Her practice is probably doing reasonably good. Because anywhere in Northern Virginia, you got a house. Your house costs a lot of money. Because Northern Virginia is an expensive place to stay, particularly around the DC area. And then you get all this divorce pressures, and you forgot what you're here for. And maybe you didn't forget you were just that selfish dude. And you've got your first and foremost priority was to protect your wife and your kids, even from yourself. And it says a lot. It says a lot. There was answer to the talented 10th. She was a doctor. He was a lawyer, top tier university. That's what Marion says. It absolutely was. Sometimes the talented 10th fall off too. And you got to pivot and do something else. And the talented 10th needs to that we about to get off subject. It says a lot when the police are called to your house because you called and you decided you're going to report a domestic violence saying that she jumped on you. And you didn't know that she had cameras installed in the house because she knew you. She knew you. So when the police come and you saying she jumped on me, whatever it is, she pushed me, she grabbed me by my arm, whatever you said it was, because you're an attorney and you know the threshold for what domestic violence is. You as an attorney know what the threshold for domestic violence is. This is some basic shit attorneys know. And she goes, no, I got cameras, which surely you couldn't have known she had cameras in the house. So I put cameras in the house, secret cameras, whatever you want to call it. Because when you get to the point that you want to have secret cameras, you were planning for some other shit. There's some shit that you've seen that you want to make sure you got it on tape. And when you get to the point where the judge adjudicates that you got to move out the house, that you're the lieutenant governor. The judge is going to cross their T's and dot their I's. It says you have to move out because you have spiraled off the map. And she got cameras to prove it. Now you know she got cameras in there. And you done went and said to now you've been exposed in front of police officers because police officers look at the camera and go, she didn't put her hands on you. That's not the level of domestic violence. And you know how hard it is for a beat officer to come to a former lieutenant governor's house and tell him that? You had went into the line of doing the unthinkable, which is you were willing to hurt your wife to make sure you didn't lose the house, the divorce, you got out of a job, all that stuff. Because you didn't want to pivot. Well, you didn't have the ability to pivot to say, shit, I'm going to have to go do, as horrible as this sounds, as hard as it is, been there. I know how fucking hard it is because I've been there. I'm going to have to go and do Lyft or something. I got to bring money into the house. And your wife pissed. And you ain't got no place to go. But the question is, this is the issue with African American men. I can tell you from experience, where were your partners that could have these intimate conversations with you? And maybe they were. That could say, hey, man, come on, come go. I had a friend of mine do that for me. Come on, man. We about to go somewhere. You need to talk. Now, I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm not taking no for an answer. Don't even worry about the money. You need to talk. We need to talk. You need a little more than thoughts and prayers. I've had that experience. And I've told people at this stage of my life, if I can't have intimate friendships with you, shit, I don't want them. If I can't call and ask you something that's tough for me and being comfortable, it makes me comfortable, that I'm comfortable enough to talk to you, that I'm going to expose myself to you and have a vulnerable conversation with you, and you're a man, I don't want your friendship. I don't need that. And I don't want to teach my kids that. Or come over here and stay at my house. See, what I've observed in my lifetime is women do that for each other. Women say no, and women pick up, and women know the situation. Most African American women know. And when they got good friends, their friends come in and do the shit that the other woman can't say she needs done. No, girl, come go with me. I'm taking you. I don't have money. Don't you? I asked you if you had money. Come go with me. I got it. And they get together and they pool it. In my experience, a lot of guys just won't do that. Number one, you don't feel comfortable talking to your friends like that. You don't feel comfortable exposing your friends. And then when you do expose your friends, those friends, they offer you thoughts and prayers. So now you're feeling double bad. I feel like I exposed you and told you some shit I shouldn't have told you. And you're not that friend that's trying to help me out. Because something, man, you say, suck it up. We say it all the time. Suck it up. So then he goes, who knows what the argument was about? Who knows what it was about? and you do the unthinkable, the most selfish thing you can goddamn do. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of sympathy for it. Because you should always put your kids before yourself when it comes to that. And if you're mad enough at your wife or your soon-to-be ex-wife, you should never get mad enough. You say, I'm going to take her away from 2 kids. But we know for a fact that he had a propensity to do something desperate, because that's what he did when he called the police. That's what he did when he called the police and said that she hit him. And I'm gonna say it to you again, to get to the point where you put cameras in the house, and it's obvious he didn't know cameras were in the house, because no way an attorney would have damn did that if he had known that there was video evidence of her not hitting him. He has really spiraled. Or that's who he was. And that's who he always was. And to see African American men get on air, and the first thing they don't do is say, man, all my empathy is towards her and her kids and her family and his family, his family. But I'm not about to show at first empathy towards him. I don't even think we ought to be talking about him for a couple of days. And to see African American men get on social media, this is the shit I be talking about. It ain't all of us. Who the fuck said it was all of us? Nobody did a broad brush, but it's a whole bunch of us. It's a whole bunch of African American men killing black women in their marriages. That's just the fucking truth. And it's a whole bunch of us on the other side that's not calling motherfuckers on the carpet. And then the ones that do call, say you simping. Man, me and Marion talk about this. If that's what a simp means, I'm a simp all motherfucking day. Y'all don't want to give y'all lives for nothing. And so when African American women start telling you they're doing the shit on their own, you come with all kinds of bullshit excuses. Then you get with your partners who come with all kinds of bullshit excuses. Then you get somebody like me that steps in that damn crowd and say, man, that's just a bunch of bullshit. Nigga, you just talking. This led to this, and this led to this. And there's some extraordinary circumstances where it doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, what's being a man? If you got all these African American women telling you they don't feel protected, if they don't feel protected, surely their kids can't feel protected, because you keep doing the same dumb shit. And then you get mad at the messenger for calling you out on that shit. And I'm not talking about relationship, I'm not talking about marriage, I'm talking about an overall feeling of safety for women in the community. That's it. But then you go and you kill her. You take her away from her. You take her away from her kids. So now you affected 3 lives, and you don't shoot her once. You shoot, which tells you mad because you shot her multiple times, which most police officers tell you, hey man, crimes of passion always get ugly. You're mad at yourself because you thought that you were supposed to be at a trajectory at 47, 48, and you didn't. And you thought, man, it's just been screwed up by these 2 allegations, not talking about whether they're true or not. And you didn't think you had somewhere else to go. You're 48. You could pivot. You got a law degree. You could pivot. You might have to start over. Yes, you may. Yeah, absolutely. Is it going to be hard? Fuck yes. But as long as you can get up in the morning and you forgot about that, or you just didn't care, you thought that you were entitled. White men killed at a higher rate, shows like 48 hours in 2020 would be lost without them. Absolutely. But I'll tell you this again, like I tell everybody else, I'm not talking about the white community. They got a whole set of issues they need to deal with, that they got the resources and all of that to deal with it. I say this all the time. I don't want to get into the comparison of white men. And I think a lot of black men who see me or hear me talk, they think this is coming from a position of disdain of black men. I love black men. I love us. But sometimes love is having the tough questions. Hell, folks have had it with me. he didn't have to make the decision, because I get it. You got a court order to leave the house and you don't have nothing. But like Stacy said, what are your friends to say, man, come sleep on my damn couch? Man, come sleep on my couch. We'll figure this shit out. Where you at? I'm coming to get you. Because you thought you were Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax and you just couldn't believe it could fall that fast. Because I agree. I watch Roland Martin. I don't agree with him making the show about Justin, but I get it. You know, since 2019, you've been going, it's not fair. It's not fair. Nobody said it was. But we know that. You chose a permanent solution for a temporary problem. Now it's permanent. And and the truth of the matter is, let me not be assume a damn thing. I don't know if your friends told you to come to their house. I saw a lady said many people have reached out to you. I saw her on Roland saying, hey, I don't even know if that was approved by her family, but many people said they had reached out to you. They knew you were spiraling. And you did the ultimate thing. That's I'm talking to him like he's still here. Because it just bothers the hell out of me to wonder what she was thinking as he was pointing that gun. Or was she thinking, I didn't know it was going to come to this. I did all this. I went through school. I got my dental degree. I'm supporting my kids. I'm ready to move on with my life. And this is how it ends? Because you won't pivot. So what I would suggest to you who are watching this, the 6 people who listen to me speak, you need to give particularly males, you need to give your friends, short of certain things, red flags that you just can't get past. I know what mine are. Room to be themselves unapologetically and with no judgment, so that they can talk and you can help them get through it. Because that's what friends are ultimately for. Particularly for men, I tell my friends this all the time. Shoot, man, tell me. Maybe I've already gone through what you went through, and I can tell you what my experiences were. How do we get here? Maybe all the stuff that men don't want to talk about, all the bragging that men do. Oh man, I'm still doing this. I'm still doing that. Blah blah. Or her girl should have done the same. Her girl packing shoes up. Yeah, I get it. As soon as she said she was putting cameras up, I agree with you. As soon that was the red flag for me, Stacey. When I read that, I was like, oh shit. As soon as she was putting some cameras up, it's time for me to vacate this property for my safety. One of us got to go. And I'm willing to bet you she told her girls, but I'm willing to bet you $10 he didn't tell his guys. He didn't tell his dudes. I'm willing to put my money on it that he probably had 1 or 2 friends, maybe, that he can literally go and say, man, I really fucked up. This is what I did, blah, 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 blah. And they just listened and then said, Justin, this is what I think you ought to do. Now I'm gonna give you a way out. You, like you said, you can come sleep on my sofa. But we're gonna have to make this right. You can come sleep on my sofa. And we can hear you, so if you can't see your picture, whenever you want to talk, you can come sleep on my sofa. It ain't much. But bro, you don't need to stay in that house. And while you're over here, we could talk. You might need to go get some therapy. And he probably said, man, I don't have no money for therapy. Well, shit, we're going to do all the other type of therapies, like me and my little brother talked about. We're going to go out and do yard therapy. He said, what's yard therapy? We're going to go cut the yard, get the yard straight. We're going to get all that shit, them frustrations out. Then we're going to talk. But if you have male friends who you gonna have to for a man, you gonna have to really, really give him space, because a man is really, really gonna be hard for him to open up when he's been taught to suck it up. If you're in my generation, you've been taught to suck it up all the time, even with your own friends. And like I said, at this stage of my life, I tell my friends, man, just get that shit out. Let's talk about it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's ED. I don't care if it's finances. I don't care whatever it is. And whatever it is, if I got something that can help you besides thoughts and prayers, I'm probably going to give it to you if we're friends. If I think that you the same trajectory, I might have that conversation with you, because the truth of the matter is I've understood for a while with men that the toughest part is the ask. And so I tell people all the time, if somebody comes and asks me, I don't hit them over the head with it, because I know that the part that they're at is the ask. The ask was harder than anything else. That you had to come down and break down and ask me, because I fucking been there. The ask is always the hardest part. Now, if the response is some bullshit, like, oh, well, bro, you know what I mean? You shouldn't have got that. We can't be friends. Because the ask was, I knew you just lived up to what I thought you were going to do. And I exposed myself. Stacey says that learning to live with unresolved issues from dealers is a difficult. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it's difficult for Black men. Absolutely, which is why you got to surround yourself with people. You have to be bold enough to let them know that, hey, you can talk to me about this. This is a no judgment zone. I've always had this thing with my kids where I go, okay, look, this is no judgment zone. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me, and I'm not going to hold it against you, as long as it's not something that's so egregious that we can't get past it. But Black women do that with each other all the time. All the time. I see it all the time. They have these discussions all the time. I've gotten to the point now where I go out with my friends and, man, shit, we just don't talk about football and the other shit we want to talk about. I can stay home. Because I know some of y'all Negroes going through some shit. Hell, I went through some shit. If we just want to act like it's a mask on it and that's going to help, I'm good with that. At this stage of my life, I'm good with that. If you don't want to talk about the real issues, hell, I've done this now for going on this 60 years. I'm good with that. If you need to get therapy and find somebody, then you need to get therapy. And I'm willing to bet you, like Stacey said, I'm willing to bet you she told one of her girlfriends that she was putting the cameras in the house, or somebody suggested that she put cameras in the house because she just said, I can't move out the house. Whatever reason she said she can't move out the house, I'm willing to bet you one of her girlfriends said to her, you need to get out of there and get the kids out of there. Kenneth, your mic's not connected. Dr. Lively, Catherine Ray 2s were in style when cameras were in their infancy. You're funny. That's my Marion McMillan, my favorite consistent troll for Kenneth and I since we first been coming on. He always keeps us straight. And so, with again, my take on the Justin Fairfax thing, I think it was cowardly.
Suicide is always cowardly, to be quite honest, in my opinion. But I've been listening to my camera. I still don't know what's this. Like I said, this is a new computer, and I don't know why the camera's not working. They keep saying it's not set up, but it is set up. I've done it. I did what I was supposed to.
We like your voice anyway. We like your voice anway. So
yeah, I know you like my Barry White. Leave me alone. I do one thing the Roland Martin thing when he was talking about mental health, and you sort of alluded to the same thing. You pretty much said the same thing that he said. I've seen women say, "Well, it's all about him and nobody's focusing on her." His mental health issues, whatever they may be, with going all the way back to the time when he was in college and the alleged rape taps and all that. It's all mental health issues, and it just came through. It just came to a head on that night. So, as you're saying, what you're saying is, men need to start working with each other, trying to help each other, trying to get through the issues that we're having, and that's kind of what Roland was saying too. because if his issues is what caused the problems that they had. His issues are what caused him to ultimately take her life and then take his own. Those were his mental health issues. So he could. I agree with you. We do need to do that, and it's something that actually our friend Mike Ruzard started doing. Start getting together the fellas, some of the fellas that we went to school with back in the day, that we've known for 40, damn near 50 years, or however long we've known each other and all that since little kids, whatever. Just get together and just sit down and just talk shit. And whatever issues come up, whatever somebody's talking, it comes up. You need mental health days. And from your job, as I tell people all the time, I need a sick and tired day. And they ask me, what's a sick and tired day? I'm sick and tired of you motherfuckers, so I ain't coming to work today. We need that. We need that. If you're in a job, it doesn't make a difference what type of job you have. You could enjoy your job to no end. And that's the best job you ever had in your life. You enjoy going to work. But every once in a while, you need to take time off. Because the stresses of life will get to you. And if you don't, as you said, if you don't have an outlet to help you through that, helps have somebody to navigate you through that. And even to the point where, somebody that we need therapy, talk to a therapist. I during the pandemic, sort of to change things up a little bit, I started doing therapy during the pandemic. And one of the reasons why I started doing therapy is because every damn night I laid down in my bed, I thought I was going to die. Now, during COVID, during the pandemic, that was a real possibility that if you got a damn cold, you'd be dead in 2 days. You think it's a cold and it's actually COVID, and you can, your life can end just that quickly. It's not, and that's why I started going to therapy. Now, I didn't do a lot of it. I wish I was still in it, because I still do have, I don't think I'm going to die every day. I don't think that, but it was I actually felt good. And the reason why I stopped is because somebody that I cared for dearly, I told him I was in therapy, and that person's, let's just say this. The reaction I got was the reaction I expected, but my therapist told me I should tell people about it. And the reaction I got was exactly what I thought would happen. And that hurt me. Deeply wounded me. Deeply wounded. That hurt me for real. Because I was like, damn. I thought you would react this way, and you did. And that person, I never said anything to him about it until a couple of years ago. Yeah, about 3 years ago, I said something to him about it. And they never realized how much that hurt me. So we all need some type of therapy. And, whatever your therapy, whatever you consider therapy, whatever you consider, what thing that takes your mind away from what's going on, away from your reality, if only for a short time. That's what you need to do. Like you talking about garden therapy. Well, my therapy is I get on here and I'll make a mix. I'll be sitting in this chair with my butt hurting for like 2 or 3 hours, just flowing. Record the mix and listen to it later. But it's not just the recording. It's just I'm doing something. I'm not gonna say it's mindless, because it's not mindless, but I'm doing something that I enjoy. And those moments when I'm doing that, the pressures of the world are not on me. I'm not thinking about the pressures of the world. I'm thinking about blending one song to the next song and making sure that it sounds right to me. And that's what we need. And as you said, I'm sure he had people that reached out to him over time to say, "Hey, man, what you need, bro? How you doing?" At least initially they did.
Or
Now,
he had somebody like your friend, your friend who responded the way you thought he should respond, that made him not go and tell anybody else, which is with us all the time. You be like,
it is, and it is
I ain't
pervasive.
telling nobody else. I ain't telling because because the response is so hurtful that it stops you from reaching out.
Right, and I agree. I agree
Right.
with you. It does do that.
Before
The response that there's people out there that see therapy or whatever, or just talking to somebody as being weak.
Particularly in our community. Do you see
going back to what you said about football?
Yeah.
It's funny how you say that because I see I used to coach youth football when Kenny was small, and tackle football, and that was around the time when he was young. CTE was coming out, and they were talking about different ways of tackling and all that. And I saw how these kids were doing it. I don't know if Kenny was young now, if I let him play football. I love football. I'm a huge football fan. I will go watch a Pee Wee game in a heartbeat. I'm riding down the street. I see little kids playing. I'll stop, get out the car, and watch the game, just because I love football that much. That's how I am. That's who I was, especially when I was a cop. When I was working in Stone Mountain, they played in my neighborhood, in the area of my patrol area. So I would go in my patrol car, sit out there on top of the car, and look at the games.
Can you see what Don said on the screen? Can you see that? Is it possible for you to see that at all? If not, I'm gonna read it to you because I want you to respond to it.
Yeah, I see. He should have reached out for his health support. Plus, put onus on him for not taking care of his well-being. And it is
because they're not the same thing. Like Dr. Arnold Tarnart, the brother on TV says, look, and I agree with him. He had to call Roland on this shit. He was like, hey, look, man, mental illness and domestic violence aren't always the same thing. There's been many domestic violence that had nothing to do with
I think this is the thing. As somebody who's dealt with domestic violence issues as a police officer from that point of view,
right?
His mental illness is what caused his problems. Whatever his thing is, whatever trauma or whatever caused him to do this, and he's spiraling out of control. That's mental illness. Now, the fact that people are talking about they're not focusing on her death. I think what Roland was trying to do, in my opinion, he was talking about, okay, I know both of them. I was friends with both of them and whatever. But his mental illness is what caused him to do what he did.
I think Roland missed the point on that though, and I'm a Roland.
But two things can be true at one time.
True. Absolutely.
And people are focusing on one aspect of it, and not listening to the total thing. Two things can be true, and I agree with you.
Absolutely.
About you say all the time that Black women don't feel protected.
Absolutely, and I think that's the response he was getting from Black women. The response he was getting
from Black not his discussion was not about, because let's say this. If Justin Fairfax had sought out mental health, sought out counseling or whatever, somebody to help him calm his mind down, this would have been prevented. It probably would have been prevented. Let's say that it probably would have been prevented. And as Marion said about that archaic law, they got to live in the same house for a year while they're going through a divorce. That shit don't make no damn sense.
That shit doesn't. But Kenneth, if you don't mind, I just want you to, if you can, just deal with this. I think it's Black women on here, so don't let me mansplain. I think they can explain themselves. I'm just telling you what I think they were saying.
And Angie, you're probably right. She probably didn't know he had mental illness.
Right, and for him to jump on air, the day of is what they were saying. The day of. He came on air the day of. He said, my phone has been blowing up since this morning. The day of. I hear y'all just getting that. So he's trying. So for him to be disconnected, for him, it's a man thing. For him to get on and say, to not start off with, hey, another accomplished Black woman got killed by her husband last night, and all the stuff that was coming before it. He had been caught cheating. Let's be honest about it. Let's have an honest conversation. He had lost his job. He had lost what he thought was his trajectory. Obviously, she was holding the family down because she was still working. So it means that she probably was paying the bills because he wasn't working. Okay. And to get on there and to not make the focus about her, it was going to get a reaction from a lot of African American women who were feeling like, damn, you made this about him and he shot her. And I think that I understand what he was trying to do. And no, I don't agree, Stacey. I hope that you won't no longer have ears for him, because you got to show him some. Roland has done so many great things that I'm not going to let one or two things knock him out the box. That's all I'm saying about Ken. I'm not saying that I understand what he was trying to do, but I don't think it came off the way he wanted it to come. Now, whether he chooses to address it or not, he's taking down his Twitter post. I don't have Twitter. He hasn't addressed it just yet. I think what Don is saying is what I saw the doctor that Roland had on the show, Dr. Washer and Dr. Tarot, two Black psychologists. And Dr. Tarot was like, hey, you can't let Roland. He called Roland on. He said, you can't let him off the hook for what he did. Because
I don't. Well, okay, this is.
I'm not saying you did. I'm saying he was talking
right. What I'm saying is he's the one. He's the culprit in all of this.
Right.
He's the villain in all of this. Yeah, he's the villain in all of this.
That's what Don is saying. Don is saying
he's the villain. I don't think Roland was trying to let him off the hook
like an excuse.
Because let's say this, his issues, and it may. I'm not saying he had schizophrenia or anything like that, or
no, he didn't sound like.
What I'm saying is this: his mental state. Roland was not letting him off the hook. My opinion is he was saying, this guy, this is not the guy that I've known for years. Wait a minute, not the guy that I've known for years.
Roland didn't know. No, Roland didn't know.
Roland said he did know.
Wait, no, I don't mean it like that. I mean, hear me out. What I'm saying is, he admitted, Justin Fairfax admitted, and I get it. I know how men feel about this. Justin Fairfax admitted that he had more than one consensual out of marriage relationships.
But that has nothing. Hold up. That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with. That may be the cause of his divorce and the cause of his downfall. But that has nothing to do with him killing his wife at that moment. That has nothing to do with it. Whatever. It's the thing is his multiple affairs and all of that stuff.
He wasn't that good of a person, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Damn, dude, have some sexual discipline. Some.
Right. He might not have been a good person. He wasn't a good person. But what caused him to break that day? What caused him to break that day was a mental breakdown. Okay, that all the stuff, all the anger and everything came up out of him at that time. His affairs had nothing to do with that anger.
Okay, so what you're saying? Because Stacey said what? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I hear you saying, and then anybody else can chime in, because it's something that Dennis said that I think needs to be addressed by Black men. Period. Most men, particularly Black men. Something Dennis said earlier that we have not. That I thought, okay, that's a hell of a comment, because I've said this before too. I think what you're saying is, no matter how you talk about it, up at that point, all of his anger, his rage, and all the stuff he should have been dealing with came out and he couldn't control it. And you're saying that's a mental illness. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's a mental breakdown. That's a mental breakdown. Period. Okay. That's what it is.
People can agree to disagree.
That part. His having multiple affairs. His having multiple affairs. Hold on one second, man. I'm sorry. I got to take this call.
That's all right. Look, Dennis says something that we don't. I tell brothers this all the time, what Dennis just said. And Dennis says, when some men get married, they feel like they have papers on their wife, meaning their own ownership, learned behavior. And I tell my son this all the time. And I tell the guys, the young guys in my truck, you don't own that. That's hers. You don't own that. If she chooses to give it to you and then keep it just for you, fine. Then you better earn it. You better keep earning it. And if you don't, then you deal with it and you move on. But you don't own it. And whatever this belief is that you own your woman and she doesn't have any self-actualization and that'll make me perfect, anybody else perfect, it doesn't mean we always get it right. You dead ass wrong. And I'll tell brothers that in a New York heartbeat. No, you don't own that shit, bro. You don't own that. My cousin told me this. My cousin, who says some crazy ass shit to me sometimes, asked me what would happen if I thought my wife was having an affair. And I responded and he said, hey, Leonard, up until anything other than rape, you can't get mad at no dude because you don't own it. So you don't own it. So if he thought that he owned that lady and he thought, not that lady, Dr. Fairfax, he was there. It's that same mentality you got to get rid of. It ain't yours unless she says it's yours.
Well, okay. I was the point. I can't remember the point I was making. I'm sorry about that. That was my.
We were talking about what you said was up until that point. All that led to the point.
Okay, so hold on, Stacy.
Ignorance and Stacy.
All right, so if he was flipping out like that before, displaying anger like that before, that is a mental health issue. He doesn't realize whatever going on with him. He doesn't know how to control his anger. That's a mental health issue. The average person, when they get, like with me, when I get angry, one of my students said to me the other day, because I went off on the class about something, and he said, "You angry?" I said, "No, I'm not angry. When I get angry, I walk away. Y'all have never seen me angry. Nothing y'all can do in this class for the most part, cannot make me angry. And when I do get angry, I walk away." He never learned that. And unfortunately, she didn't take his anger seriously, the previous events seriously enough that she just needed to say, "I just need to get away from him, period," and walk away. And that should have been done, but that's not her fault. That's not her fault. She never thought he would go this far. And right. and Leonard, as you said, you said, his I'm drawing a blank. You said something a minute ago that caught my attention. The bottom line, the whole family needed help. They needed help. Everybody.
And it's no telling. Look.
And maybe they did seek it, and it wasn't enough, or they were about to, and whatever. But they needed help. They needed them. Both of them should have gone to somebody else, and somebody should have gave them the advice. You need to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, because I don't know if her personality was one of those. One of those was a person that said, "Man, I'm not walking out of my house. I'm paying all the bills." I do. Before we go on, I want to say something about what you said, and I appreciate you giving your personal experience. I'm gonna give you my personal experience because I ended up going to therapy too, and it took people a long time to get me to go to therapy, and when I went to my therapist, I got a brother that was a therapist. After we sat down and talked for like maybe 2 sessions, what he told me was, you don't have anything else to give. You don't. But it was somebody telling me and me listening to take the step of vulnerability. And after I went through my sessions, I made a decision. None of my friends are going to feel like they couldn't talk to me. Period. I don't need those type of friendships. So whatever Michael's doing, I applaud that.
The thing is, we need to learn how.
He's been wanting to kill her. He must have said this out for a while. No, then what we're saying with that, Dennis, is that we thought he was insidious from the beginning. I don't know him to say that. And I'm not willing to say that because it's already intrusive for us to be talking about it. I just thought it was important to talk about it in case somebody else wanted to hear it, because Black men don't talk about it. And I watch Black women talk with each other all of the time about all of their problems.
And this is the thing. As you said, we don't want to be perceived as being weak when we discuss whatever issues we have. And if we do talk about this, we frame it in a way that doesn't make us look bad. Like if you're having an affair, you had an affair, and had an affair, you frame it as, man, I was just getting some more, hey, I was just knocking them down. That's all. I was just knocking them down. It was, it wasn't, it was just, I couldn't help myself, or something like that. Something that doesn't put ownership on our behavior, but makes us look good in another man's eyes. Let's say it like that.
I think
and we need to get away from that. And I've done that shit my damn self. Said something that I would know I was dead wrong, and then make it seem like, yeah, man, I could help myself, blah blah blah, all this and all that shit. Yeah.
I think, okay, so I think that runs along the line, and I want to address what Stacey said. I think that runs along the line when you and Mary says, do you think it's a teachable moment? I think it's a teachable moment for relationships. I think it's a teachable moment for friendships. And I think it's a teachable moment on both sides, where you're willing to be honest with the person that you're talking with. When you're talking to the person, and the other person is willing to be honest and understand your vulnerability when they're trying to give you some counsel. So sometimes it's how you say stuff. Like you could say to your boy, man, I could say to Kenneth, hello, you deaf, but you fucked up on that one. But you still my dude. And what do we need to do to help you get past this? What you need?
And see, that's the conversations we need to be having.
Right. But you screwed up on that. But we're here. We're here now. You screwed up. Cool. That's done. What do we have to do to get you where you got to go? And that's what
and those are the conversations we as men we need to have with each other. Right. We just can't continue to have a conversation about just mindless conversations. Now, I will say this. There are times when you do need mindless conversations.
Absolutely. You do.
There are a lot of times when you just to get your mind off of whatever's going on with you, you just need that. Because your boys may not be able to help you with it. And sometimes I'll say this. Sometimes we go through things and it's just something you just got, you know what to do. You know what you got to do. You might not want to do it, but you got to do it. You got to go through hell in order to get to the other side. You in hell right now. You got to go through it. You know it. You don't want to do it, but you got to do it, and you're doing it, and things are going to be better on the other side.
That's when you have friends who
but sometimes, as a man, I'm be real honest. Sometimes I don't want to talk to anybody about what I'm going through.
But here's my point. I think that's a point of friendship, though. Sometimes your friends,
I agree.
They don't know you don't want to talk about it, and what you do is one of the things I always try to do that I've been trying to practice is I just call and say, I'm just calling to check on you. I don't want nothing. You don't want to talk. We good. I just want to call and hear your voice. I feel like I need to check on you. Dennis, I don't know about. But times you were doing dirt. Oh yeah, the time we were doing dirt. You don't want.
You're right, Mike. You're right. You're right. That's what you don't want.
I agree.
You don't need no help then.
Yeah, you don't need no help then.
Hold up, except to hide it.
Yeah. You don't need no help. And
only time you need the help then is man, I was with you, right? Okay.
But but let's be clear. That's all humans.
Right.
That's all humans.
Right.
If women are clear, they'll tell their girls. Look, I know that's how y'all say it. I want to say something about what Dennis said. Dennis said women learn what buttons to push. Do husbands know what buttons to push too? Husbands know what button to push too. Now, if you want to say husbands are better at pulling back from it, we might have a conversation. But I'm of the belief that the person, because what you can do physically can cause super damage, like they tell truckers, man, no matter what happens, you need to pull that truck back because your truck can cause tons of damage. That little Toyota can't cause as much damage that truck can. So you got more responsibility. And you know, is it a teachable moment? I hope it's a teachable moment for the whole community. At the end of the day,
okay, you know, there's one other thing too.
Sure,
The biggest issue I have with this, this whole discussion, and the discussion needs to be had, but we've lost sight of the one thing that that we should be or in having the discussion, we've lost sight of one thing. These kids are out there and they have to deal with the death of their mother, or the issue that their father killed their mother, and they were in the house, so they heard it,
and it's all over social media.
And it's all over social media. People talking about how much of a devil their father was, how much of a demon he was, how he just wasn't shit, and they're going to have to hear that for a lot of years. Probably if they go stay with with their mother's family, you know, somebody in the family gonna say, I knew that motherfucker wasn't shit to begin with. I never liked that motherfucker. Or staying with his family, you know, she shouldn't have pushed him. You know, comments like that. And it's on social media. You're in school, probably in a private school somewhere, and you're having to deal with everybody knowing your family's business. The discussion that we're having on social media about this tragedy, about this crime, is going to affect those children. And what I think we need to stop doing is, I don't know how to put this. What we need to do is show some empathy for those children.
What does that look like to you?
And that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm not saying the discussion shouldn't be had, but I think the discussion should move away from focusing on this particular incident and move toward move more toward these types of incidents in general. Because what happened with this is not anything new. I've seen it. If I haven't seen it, I've heard of it, read about it, arrested somebody dealing with it. Domestic violence issues, I have for many, many years. I have been around that as even before I was a cop. I had seen it, and it was even more. It was worse when I was a cop because I saw it almost on a daily basis, seeing the effects of it. So I think we need to show those children some grace and not just focus on this particular story, but just focus on the larger issue of domestic violence in families.
I would say this as a child of divorce. And talking to some of my friends who are, and I always say this. And my daughter said something to me one day. Children in the house always know before the outside world knows, which is what I think somebody in the comments earlier said. Children always know that there's something really going on. I know somebody this happened to. Hold on, let me read what Stacy said. I know somebody this happened to. My homeboy drove from Atlanta to Ohio, killed his estranged wife, his daughter, and himself. His son got away. Children know long before anybody else. They just don't have any place to turn to say anything, nor do they think they should.
I agree.
Nor do they think they should.
They should stay in it. They think they've been taught to stay in a child's place.
They don't know if they should go tell an uncle or a cousin.
And that's the same thing. That's the same thing with molestation in the family too.
They don't know.
Exact same thing.
Those kids knew. Those kids knew. And I agree with Stacey and Angie when they say the red line should have been, and I don't know if the red line wasn't this. I give her all the benefit of the doubt, and I don't give him the benefit. I'm sorry, I just don't. The minute she told somebody, because I just, women just talk to each other differently. Very rarely do they not tell a close friend, I'm going to install cameras in the house, or the friend says you should install a camera. The minute you get to that point that you think he may do something, like say you hit me, but it's bad. It's super bad. And I would be remiss if my daughters didn't come and tell me. Because I'll tell anybody, hey man, look, I say this all the time to guys that will date my daughters. And I even told my daughter's husband this. Hey man, look, you put your hands on her in the way that she wants you to, and we good. Whatever that way is that is pleasurable, whatever it is that she likes is good. You put your hands on her in a way that she don't want you to, we gonna have a problem. Because you can always send her home. We're gonna have a fucking problem. And I mean that.
Well, and this is as a community of Black men, we need to tell other men that about their we need to tell other men you're not supposed to put your hands on her.
Bro, keep your hands off her. Right. And that's how we say it.
Yeah, just hey, whatever she does, now right. I'll say this. We also need to tell our ladies, our daughters, that you don't put your hands on him either. Because once you put your hands on him, first, he has the right to defend himself. And if somebody who has had a woman try to put hands on me, I actually had an ex-girlfriend that tried to stab me one time. And at the time, I didn't take it seriously. I was like, oh, she joking. No, that chick was serious. She literally lunged at me with 2 knives. And I had to, I never hit her, but I damn sure had to defend myself. And good thing I did not hit her, because I would have been the one that got in trouble.
Because it's called proportional self-defense.
Right. But no, it's not called proportional self-defense. That ain't no. If somebody tried to stab you with a knife, you have every right to do whatever you need to do.
I said proportional self-defense. But if she walks up and slaps you, don't mean you have the right to pummel her with 3 straight overhand rights and put her in the hospital. You don't have that right.
But the thing is, my thing is this, and I tell people all the time. I tell women this all the time. If you're man enough to hit me, you're man enough to get hit back. Do not hit a man. Because if he does with his full force to you what you just did to him, it's not going to end well. So everybody needs to keep their hands off of everybody. And that's why they changed the law. Because before, nobody was going to jail for domestic violence. Then they said if a man puts his hand on a woman, he goes to jail. Doesn't make a difference in circumstances. Now the law says whoever hits who first, that's the one that's going to jail. And that's the way it should be. Because nobody should be putting hands on anybody. So we need to tell young ladies. And they out the first thing, you ain't supposed to hit a female, so why is the female hitting the man?
That's not what I said. And
I know that's not what you said. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this.
I agree.
Teach everybody.
But
and also too, fellas, you need to learn. Because I think Dennis is one that said, somebody said they know how to push the buttons. When they start pushing your buttons, just leave. Just leave. Go somewhere.
Look, I'm glad Mike said this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna read what Mike said. Look. Proportional defense. It's why you get before a judge and juries. I don't have the right, if my wife slaps me, to pummel her into the ground and then say it was self-defense. That's not what that is.
I didn't say.
Like, I didn't say this. You said, let me finish. Hear me out, because Mike just put it in words. You have young men and grown men that have no idea what it means to be a man. But wait, listen to what he said.
Okay, I heard what he said. And I want to respond.
Everybody, men control the situation and the narrative. We have the ability to diffuse any situation, but we choose not to. I always have the ability to walk the fuck out the house. I do.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain something to you.
Go ahead.
It's somebody who works with teenagers.
Okay.
Every day. these girls will sit there and it will do stuff to start and keep pushing, then put their hands on him and tell him you can't hit a female. And I've seen guys walk away and they walk down the hall chasing him, still bothering, still hitting on him. Now, at some point, you got the man is not going to keep walking away when you keep doing stuff. These young ladies need to learn. These young ladies need to learn how to be ladies.
We're not saying they don't.
I know, but that we can't just put the onus. Just like we said, we can't put the onus on. Can't put the blame on her. The blame goes, and then when the circumstance I'm talking about, it goes both ways.
Dude,
and also too, because the first thing they'll say, and I hear them all the time, he ain't supposed to hit a female. Well, the female is hitting him. He's trying to stop her. He's blocking it, grabbing her hands and all that, and she's still trying to. At some point, she's got to realize this boy can hurt me. This man can hurt me. Let me walk away. Let me stop. And women do hit out of anger. But if a man has to control his anger, a woman has to as well.
I don't think.
And it's too many. Well, I'm saying.
Let me ask you this, Kenneth. How's that worked out?
What you mean? How's that worked out?
We're as opposed to what? And I'm gonna say opposed. As opposed to what Michael and I are saying. How has this new? Hey, if you put your hands on me, you deserve to understand what a man power is. How's that worked out ultimately for the man? Because I would love, if Marion's on, I would love to see statistics. Probably there's no statistics. That's a hell of a goddamn nuance. But see, situation.
In the eyes of the law now, if she initiated all of this, she's gonna get arrested. She ain't a victim no more.
So let me ask you this: as a police officer, I'm being sincere. I'm really asking this question from a police officer. I'm asking from you as a former police officer. And now I'm gonna read something that Mike said because I know, we jumped off subject here. So, but as a police officer, you find out that she initiated a domestic violence situation. Let's say she hit him in the head with a pot.
She gone.
Wait. But before you got there, he had turned on her and pummeled her with 3 fucking straight right hands, broke her nose, broke her jaw, and perforated her ear.
Both of them going.
But how's it going? So, do you think that the jury is going to say
she hit him with? Okay, she hit him with a pot. That's aggravated assault. That's aggravated assault. She hit him with a weapon. That's aggravated assault.
So what's
in the eyes of the law? Now you can ask other people.
What's the response? What's his response? Is that attempted murder? If she ends up in the hospital, I'm asking. I don't know.
That's attempted murder. In Georgia, they don't have attempted murder. They have aggravated assault.
Okay, so
it could be okay if he broke her nose. If he broke her nose, that's aggravated battery. If he hit her a couple of times, that's battery. Hit her a few times or whatever, that's battery. But when she hit him with a weapon, that is aggravated assault.
Look, you got my cousin Morphine on here going. She can't.
She's not defending herself. If she's the one that initiated, Marvin. If she's the one that initiated, the fight, she hit him with a pot. That is not defense. That's not self-defense.
But
at that point, now if he was doing something. If she hit him with a pot, he was about to punch her, and she got to the pot and hit him first. That's self-defense.
But that's not
what we're arguing. And she hits him with a pot. That's aggravated assault. You're not defending yourself. You're the one that started.
But if he responds, is what I said.
Now his response.
Right. That's what Mike is talking about.
Okay, this is what
I'm saying. That's what Mike's talking about, though.
Okay,
Mike's really saying.
Hold on, Mike, hold on.
Mike said no.
Wait, hold on. Let's take the. His hands is what? No. His hands are not a weapon. His hands are his hands.
Wait. Do what Mike said. Don't jump all over the place. That's what Mike said.
I'm reading what Marvin said. You won't let me respond.
No, but Mike. Wait, we're gonna get to Marvin. We're talking about what Mike said. What Mike is saying.
I'm trying to say it, but you keep interrupting me.
Okay, go for it. My bad.
Mike said that because a lot of these guys are being raised by women, they react like women.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that.
Hold on. If a man hits you, if a man just haul out of the blue, y'all argue whatever, and he just punches you, and you punch him back. Is that self-defense? Yes or no?
If a man does what?
If a man, let's get the same scenario. A man hits another man with a pot, and the other man that gets hit with the pot turns around and punches the dude and breaks his nose. Is that self-defense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So why isn't it self-defense when it's a woman? It's the same act.
Can I answer the question?
I didn't stop you. I just said it's the same act.
Answer the question. Because again, what I've been told, I'll go back and check.
Marvin talk. Oh, you got to know. Listen to what Marvin said. What you said, Marvin? I think she's talking about now. She's talking about some serious stuff.
But you don't know my cousin Marvin and how Leonard's friend, which one of the family she was. So, but if you know Marvin, you know why she's saying that. But what I'm saying is this: mutual combat. All he got to do is threaten mutual combat. What I'm saying is, okay, y'all turn this into a comedy show. What I'm saying is, I hear what Kenneth's saying. Well, I've been told that it's called proportional defense, which is, I think that's what Mike is saying. And that's what I believe. I believe that. Now, you might not believe that. And I think, wait. You said you let me finish now. Can I finish?
Go ahead.
What I'm saying, what Mike is saying, what me and Mike agree on, is at the end of the day, my physical abilities, to some degree short of a knife and a gun. Now come on, let's not make this ridiculous.
It's not the law doesn't look at your physical abilities. It doesn't look at that. Because you got women. Hey, okay, hold on. Think about this. You got a woman that works out every day.
Hold on. You see Mike saying hold on. Because that means you ain't let me finish the point.
You done made your point.
I did not. I didn't make my point. I actually addressed what me and Mike are saying. What Mike
around the mulberry bush.
There you go again. There you go again.
Go around. Stop going around the mulberry bush and say what you gonna say. I got my water out there, watering grass that's wet. Come on, man.
Am I pushing your buttons?
Yeah.
What Mike is saying is, man, at the end of the day, you like he said, let me walk the hell out. There is no win in this for me.
I agree with that. I didn't disagree with that part.
Okay.
I never disagreed with that part. I was going on based. My response was based on scenario that you gave. She hits him with a pot. Does that give him the right to break her nose? Both of them going to jail. Both of them going to jail. She got aggravated assault. He got aggravated battery. And the reason why he got aggravated battery is because he broke her nose. In aggravated battery, if you can prevent somebody, if you injure someone to the point where they can't use a body part, that is aggravated battery. Okay. He broke her nose. Her nose isn't working properly now because he broke her nose. That's aggravated battery. She hit him with a pot. That is a weapon. That is aggravated assault. Period. End of story. That's how the law works.
Look what Stacey said.
I saw that.
That's what you said. You said one of those type of women right there. That's what you said.
I am playing nice. Hey, Andy, I am playing nice. I'm a big boy. He's coming with emotion. I'm coming with facts.
Boy, stop.
Because I said was the same thing. The same thing is this. It doesn't make a difference of a person's physical ability unless there's unless they're a professional fighter. That's something different. But see,
what he just did, he said I was coming with emotional. Men can't stand that. He said I was coming with emotion. Now, see, if he was here, I'd be like, hey, bro, chill out with that shit. I ain't being emotional just because I disagree. But that's
what I'm saying. No, I'm saying your argument is coming from emotion. Not saying you're being emotional. Now you being emotional. Before your argument was emotional. Now you being emotional. You taking it personal.
Hey, look, they not telling me to chill out. They telling
what I'm saying. But the point I'm trying to make is this: just because a woman is a woman does not mean she doesn't have as much physical ability as a man. You got women that are MMA fighters. So you trying to tell me an MMA fighter that hits a guy, a woman that's an MMA fighter who hits a guy that can't do just as much damage as a man who doesn't do MMA?
What I will tell you to answer that specific question.
Ronald Rouse walking up you and slapping the shit out of you and knocking the hell out of you. It doesn't have the same effect as a man?
What I will tell you is pull up if you all get a chance, pull up a YouTube video with, I think her name is Angie Torres, who was the world champion featherweight, talking about what you just talked about. And she decided she was going to get into a fight with a cook with no MMA skills, and what happened. Pull that up. Pull that up and pull that up. And when she says, I will never test a man's strength ever again. Because he didn't have any. He didn't have any.
The thing is this.
Whoop my ass.
The thing is this. He might that guy may have been that guy could whoop her ass. Not every man can fight. We've seen that.
Oh my God. See, now you change. You moving the goalposts.
I ain't moving no goalposts. I'm just telling you the law, the way the law works. That's all I'm telling you. That's it. That's all I'm telling you. And I have been to a case. I have dealt with a case. Now I'm gonna tell you, and this is how I know it works. This is how it works. I went to a domestic violence call. I get there. Long story short, woman got pregnant by a guy, found out he was married. She's all upset. Guy comes, they make an arrangement where he can spend time with the baby. Baby's still an infant, still in the infant carrier. He comes, gets the baby on a Friday, supposed to bring back sometime Saturday. He gets violently ill and spends all day Saturday in the hospital. She's calling him. He can't answer because he's in the hospital. Finally, he comes to get out of the hospital. She's like, bring me my baby. And he said, well, I'll have my wife bring. No, you bring me my baby. That bitch the devil touched me. This is what the woman told me now. So
listen.
He comes, brings the baby home. Got the baby in his arm in the baby carrier. She comes to the door with a knife and tries to stab him at the door with the baby in his hand. He has his son in the car, 12-year-old son in the car. She tries to stab him. He puts the baby down to protect the baby, and she's still coming at him with the knife. They end up in the house, and he tries to call 911. She pulls the plug, pulls the phone. This is when they had landlines. She pulls the landline, the cord out the wall. She's still trying to stab him. After a few minutes, he's like, fuck this shit. And he grabs her, and she's also hitting him too. He grabs her and just rams her head into the wall. Then I get there because it's a 911 hang-up call. I get there. I don't know what's going on. Just know it's a 911 hang-up call. Get there. They both tell me the story. She agrees with what she said. What I said happened, that's what she told me. He said, yeah, that's what happened. I locked her up for aggravated assault because she tried to stab him. Then I got him, and he was good because he was defending himself up until the point where he was, this shit was funny to me. He rammed her head up in the wall, and there was a big dent in the wall. That was funny as hell to me. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was about 15 years ago, but that shit was so damn funny to me. But she ended up going getting arrested, and he ended up getting arrested for battery. That's the scenario I'm talking about. She initiated everything. And she used a knife. That's the weapon. That's aggravated assault. Same thing if it was a pot. Same exact thing. He was good until he rammed her head up into the wall. That's what I'm talking about. Teach people not to put their hands on anybody. Then there won't be no problems.
I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you at the end of the day.
So it doesn't make a difference. And I'm saying this, it doesn't make a difference if that's a man that you're doing. If you do something and you initiate the contact, you initiate the fight, you are going to jail. Period.
I don't think that's what the argument was. But I do want to say, because I know we're coming up, I don't know how long everybody can be on. I do want to say this in terms of the kids. I don't know I agree with you that the kids should be the focus. I don't know what that means, how much, because in order to talk about this stuff, you have to talk about it. And even us on this little bitty we've had 11 people on here today, and who knows how many are going to be watching. I think that the issue we're trying to get is to not to diminish what she was trying to do, because as you have women on here who say, hey man, there was some red flags, she should have left. She should have known that there was some red flags and nothing was worth. The house wasn't worth her life. The house wasn't worth her kid's life. We don't know. I can imagine her. She probably had some friends say, hey, you need to leave. With minute you put them cameras up, Now, how do we show grace to the kids without making it a teachable moment? Because we don't have to live with it, but we have to talk about it, and we got to talk about African American men.
We can talk about it in general terms.
Right.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Let's talk about it in general terms. And listen, I got to go, man.
Okay.
Not to cut you off, but I got to go. I got a dentist appointment in 32 minutes.
Yeah, go take your computer and the camera too.
You know one of the reasons why I don't like light-skinned people.
I had to. You light.
No, I'm not.
What you talking about? You the same color as me.
No, I ain't.
What you talking about?
These reasons why I don't like light-skinned people. Listen, y'all. Hey, y'all can continue discussion. I really got to go. I got a disappointment.
No, you gonna do what you got to do. I'm gonna continue for a little while longer. Then we're gonna get off.
So, he wants to continue because he wants to keep making his point with no counterpoint. That's what he wants to do, y'all.
Maybe
it's 11:27. He still won't talk.
Maybe Leonard.
There you go, Leonard. You're wrong. See.
You need to give me kudos. Yeah. Man, I don't know why Stacey didn't share her kitchen project with everybody, but boy, she sure made me feel bad. I went out and got my yard. It's like, if she could do this with a kitchen, I could at least go get my yard right and my garden. The least I could do. And but look, you ought to tell Stacey, send you pictures of, I would, but Kenneth been in my ass about putting people's business out there. So I'm gun shy about what I can and can't.
Yeah. So, you see, last week I didn't tell people that you were out of town where you were last week.
You just did. And
I said where? No, see, it's not the thing about being out of town, it's where you put my location out there.
Why you get to make the rules?
Because I'm Kenny Lively.
With time, the kids will become advocates. I hope so, Dennis. I hope that time. Hey, man, look. The thing about it is,
to go through a lot of therapy.
Yeah. The people. Yeah. I agree.
All right, listen. I got to roll, y'all.
Hey, y'all. This is a discussion. Go ahead, Kenneth. I'll holler at you later. I would tell you that if you have, like Dennis said, I will say this what Dennis said.
Oh, Linda, I was putting up the deuces, but I realized y'all can't see me.
Yeah.
Brand new goddamn computer. This shit, the camera won't even work. I had this shit for 2 days. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later.
Thank you. Appreciate you giving me the time to myself. Damn, get off the phone.
See, light skinned folk.
See you later, bro. I would say to Dennis and Michael, first of all, I appreciate Kenneth saying Michael did that. We had a lot of honest conversations we need to have with one another as African American men. I was at a function the other day that they asked me to come to, and I actually got why am I here? And Simon's Island. How you know I was at St. Simon's? And I asked him why I was here. I don't have the tolerance, which is taught. And this is one of the times where somebody should have been willing to tell him, like Stacey said, hey, bro, you just got to come crash on my couch. You got to come over here and sleep. And you got to have, if you don't have friends like that, then you really don't have friends. You just got friends around because you're the lieutenant governor and what you could do for them. You need to go back and find that one friend that wasn't like that for you. And I told Marion this with the Tiger Woods thing, and I really believe this. I was like, the reason Tiger Woods keeps finding himself in those positions because he don't have one African-American friend that'll tell him the damn truth. Hey, man, give me them goddamn keys. You ain't going nowhere. I don't want nothing from you, but you're not driving this damn car. Ain't you had enough? And we just gonna have to, get your ass in that back seat. And we got to start having honest conversations, and it's particularly important right now to have an honest conversation, particularly amongst Black men. Black women have them all the damn time, and Black men not, about where we are, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And just because you thought that you were supposed to be on this trajectory of the talented 10, sometimes that shit don't go the way you want, and you got to pivot. But it does not give you the right to take it out on everybody else. Because it's the opportunity to get there that's sacred. Doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. And if you're not successful and you don't become the governor, okay. That shit is hard. But like Roland said, your life is not over. You're 48. You're still young. You can make the turn in three years. Now, whether she was gonna make the turn with you or not, man, that's debatable. And you walk out and you say, I got a law. There's a whole bunch of folks that make the turns with law degrees that's never been a lieutenant governor. But the problem was he couldn't see himself being anything below lieutenant governor at that level, because once you get that level, it's hard to go back down. It takes a strong goddamn man to humble himself to go back down and say, shh, I'm going to have to go down a couple of rungs and come back up. But it makes you a better person. You're still here. So if you got friends who are male, you need to give them the space to be able to talk to you. And I didn't say about everything. And no, some secrets you shouldn't keep. I'm not keeping a secret. You done told me you done kill somebody, you done hurt somebody's kid. You might not get off my porch if I found out that you could do stuff like that, because that means you're capable of doing it to anybody. But you got to be able to give them space to be able to talk about men, whatever it is they want to talk about. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have to get into it. So with that being said, this was a great discussion. I think we got to keep having discussions. We got to keep having men discussions. Keep getting on here, trying to bring more people in here so they just can talk. Tiger's been saying so now the lights begin to dim. Yeah, the lights begin to dim because he don't have no people around him that he really trusts that ain't ever asking for a goddamn thing. And that they can support themselves without him. They might like the limelight, but they don't have to have the limelight. They survive on their own without his limelight. And he wants to be around them just to be, in other words, he can go chill at their little 1,500 square foot house as much as they can go chill at his 7,000 square foot house. And he'll feel just as at home as their house, because that's where he wants to be. I want to be in the company because these people care about me, period, whether I was a damn hell of a golfer or not. And everybody needs those type of people. So with that being said, let's continue the conversation. I want to talk about this again next week because it's not a one-time conversation. Let's do that. Until then, y'all need to get out there and realize that this no real friends. I agree with that, Stacey. You need to realize that this administration don't give a damn about none of this shit that's going on with us. And we move better as a group than individuals. Rugged individual that hasn't really worked for us, in my opinion. You need to move as a group. And I appreciate y'all coming on. And I really appreciate y'all supporting us for 4 years. I appreciate it. I hope you get something out of it. So with that being said, man, it's a beautiful day in Atlanta. Y'all go have a good time. Dennis, thanks for what you said. Don, thanks for your denial isn't just a river in each. I didn't see that one. Only you, Don. You got to come on the show again. Matter of fact, let me know if you can come on next week so we can see you live. And y'all have a great day and be safe. And money can't buy love. And we'll see you next week. And everybody got a lot to say. So, hey, like I said, y'all are more than welcome to come on here and show your face. I can have up to 10 people on the screen. So, and it'd be great to have some women up on the screen. I suppose y'all just typing in Marvine and Stacey, so y'all can shut Kenneth down when I'm telling them shut the hell up, and he won't shut up. So, anyway, I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for coming in. And hey, do me a favor. Jump on my YouTube page and give me a subscribe so I can go live on there. So if y'all will, it'll take you damn 10 minutes to do so. If you don't have it, I think it's Big Papa or something like that. I'll put it on my Facebook page, but they started to mess with the algorithms for folks that they don't want to say certain things. They just doing that. If you don't believe that, you haven't been paying attention. So if you could jump on there and give me like 10 of y'all or 8 of y'all, that allowed me to go live on YouTube too. Anyway, appreciate y'all. I'll put it in my message, my Facebook message, how you do it. And I always appreciate y'all support. Peace.